Hello. Hey,
Hi, Andrea.
how are you?
Hey. I'm doing okay, hanging in there.
Okay. Are you working too hard?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm working too hard or too less. I'm just exhausted. Um, haven't been feeling well. Uh, in a couple of the last few days. Uh, just I don't know, just kind of out of it. Uh,
Okay. Well, it's okay to take a break sometimes. It's okay to take a break.
yeah,
I know, it's hard for me too. Being on vacation was hard because really the whole time I just
I,
wanted to
I
do
just I
work.
mean this week has been king crap. Yeah. No, it's this week has been just horrible for me. It's just been bad.
Yeah, just a
Just been
bad week.
bad. Uh, yeah, they I went to go check in with that place the that call for artists, and they said I wasn't invited.
What?
Yeah, they said I wasn't invited. I was gonna bring my stuff, and I got it was this piece and another piece um that uh that I submitted to them, and so I wanted to get the address. So I went back online, the cafe online, and checked on this, and they said that the status was not invited. So I was like, "Oh shit!"
Okay. Okay. These
So
things do happen. Sorry, I thought you had already made it through that process and were um
I thought so too, because I before I submitted and paid the fee, I contacted the person that was running it and showed them the image and did my artist statement. And in the emails, she was like, "Yeah, you're definitely in. Your stuff is good to go." Because I wanted to make sure that it fit the show.
right.
And then I come back and I look at the status, because on Tuesday was the day that I was gonna go down and bring the artwork in, and they said nope, not invited. So
Well,
so that kind of took the wind out of my sails. And then I had this, because I meet with these business partners each, each week, and I don't know, for some reason, um, I don't know what happened, but either my email got hacked or whatever. I'm having hacking issues lately. But anyway, I sent out an email because we every so often I have to do a 10-minute speech as far as what I do, as far as I'm an artist and running my business and everything. And I've already had that set and planned, because I knew the day that I was going to do it. It was on the 19th of September or the 16th of September.
mhm.
And so I've already had it planned, because I was going to do something completely different. I was going to have another video. I was going to have a uh, video type of setting where I'm showing them clips of me doing my artwork and things like that. Well, lo and behold, my 10-minute speech was that Wednesday morning. I
Oh.
didn't know. So it's like, well, shit. So I'm shooting right at the side of the hip, and it's just horrible, because it's like I wanted to touch on certain things that I didn't get a chance to because I wasn't prepared, and I felt horrible that whole day, because I don't like being prepared. So
Mhm. Yes, I know. I'm a prepper as well. So
yeah,
when things don't when things get kind of thrown in real quick, it's problematic. Um
yeah,
so here's the thing. Mama said there'd be days like this, Uh, and sometimes there's weeks like this, and sometimes there's whole years like this. And
yeah,
the only thing we can really do about it is keep working and keep doing the good work that we know that we are supposed to be doing. And
yeah. I've
you
done
know,
that.
journal through some of that and just say, all right, well, I had a bad week. Doesn't have to mean that next week is also going to be a bad week. So, uh, yeah, these things do come up. These things do come up. And here's the thing.
No,
It's part
no,
of what this
it
whole
just a lot of things kind of just took the wind out of my sails a little bit.
yeah, no, I agree. When when you have multiple bad days strung together, that's not a fun time. That's not a fun time at all. Um,
No, yeah, I don't know. I just got a lot of things that's really going on in my life, and it's getting a little bit difficult for me to juggle some things. And the main thing that I'm missing the ball on is my health.
yeah, yeah. So
That's it. That's the
yeah,
one thing, and
yeah.
um, it's starting to creep up and starting to catch up to me.
hmm
It caught
Well,
up to me this morning. So
yes, you've got to make sure you're doing your self-care activities, and um, there's going to be things that are going to have to get shelved in order to make sure that you are setting aside the time for you. And again, make your daily schedule and make health non-negotiable. That comes first.
yeah, I actually did that. I actually did it all the way up to this week. Because every morning I would say it's like, okay, we're gonna eat right, we're gonna exercise, but mainly we're gonna exercise. And
Mhm.
I started doing that. And I guess I kind of overexerted certain things, I guess, during my exercise. But that wasn't the main thing. It's mainly getting is really it's getting back with doctors and other things is it's what's going, it's the crux of it, is because I got this surgery that I got to do. It's
Mhm.
hanging over my head,
Yeah.
and I just have to. I called the hospital to get it set up, but I don't know if I've yet to hear back from them, and I guess I got to step up and I got to call them back, and then I got to get ready for this. I got to get ready for this meeting for this transplant coordination team. I think it's on Monday. So, but anyway, I know what I need to do. I guess we can just get down to the business. I guess
Well,
kind of on a sidetrack.
you make a lot of good points though. So this 6-week course, it's teaching us um, to be an exhibiting expert, but a part of that is knowing our personal limits. Okay.
Yeah.
And something like what went wrong this week, where you think you're accepted to a show and all of a sudden you're not, these are things that we look at and say, okay, now I've learned a lesson. It's not official until it's official.
Yeah.
And like I said, not all shows are created equally. Organizers are just people, and some people are not good at their jobs. So it's unfortunate that that happened, but there will be more shows. There will be more shows. There will be other opportunities. Even if this one
Yeah.
feels like a blow, um, it will, you will move on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
So that's always something to keep in mind there. So as usual, I got you the lesson a little bit late. I'm sorry about that. But it was a short lesson this week. So getting right into it, did you have any questions about follow-up for exhibits?
Um, Well, God, yeah, I had, yeah, I think I just had like one. It's in regards to like getting paid for the galleries.
Uh-huh.
Like I've heard some instances where you don't get paid till about a month out from the end of the show. Is that true, or that vary from show to show?
It will vary from show to show. It's going to depend on kind of what sort of billing system they're using. They may have, you know, a net 30 set up for the customers. So if a person buys a piece of art on September 15th from the gallery, the show doesn't even come down until the 30th. There might be a net 30 from that close of the show.
Uh-huh.
Um, but that's totally dependent on the gallery. So it's just going to be a case by case on that. You could always inquire upfront about what form of payment you're getting. You know, are you getting PayPal? Are you getting a check? Are you getting cash? And when you'll be paid. So those are things you're going to want to check in with upfront.
I got another question. Uh, let's say that, okay, because what actually, this actually happened to me last year with my exhibit, where I sold a piece that was going to be in the exhibit, but I sold it like maybe 3 weeks before my exhibit.
Okay.
Uh, do I cut the person that's hosting the exhibit that 20% or 30, 60, whatever cut they get for the exhibit?
It was sold before the exhibit. I would just put it in the exhibit and list it as not for sale or already sold. They didn't help you sell it.
Oh, because I cut them a check.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if they,
because I guess because the way they had it worded in the contract, that if it's, I guess if it's at the place or up on the wall prior to it, you know, once you're in the show, I guess, then whatever proceeds you get, even before or after the show, you got to send them the 20%.
okay.
So I guess that's the reason why I did it.
So if you were under a contract, then that's fine. You did
Yeah.
your part. Here's the thing about contracts. If you don't like the terms, try to renegotiate the terms before you sign the contract. Because if they had nothing to do with that sale, why on earth should you pay them?
Because they didn't. I mean, it was sold to a friend of mine.
Exactly. So what you could have done is either renegotiated that contract before signing it, or sent them some sort of a counter proposal that says, hey, I agree to all points except paragraph 2, section 1. So I'm rewriting that section, and they can either sign it or not. So if you agree to, you know, renegotiate the terms before you sign the contract. And they might just say, no, screw you, we only operate under this contract, in which case you can say, hey, I'm not going to do the show. Because it's pretty much garbage that you had to pay them a portion of a sale that they literally had nothing to do with.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I sold it. It was a paying for like I charged like $500 for.
Yeah, so you
and I
had
ended
to
up
give away
having to pay like
$100.
$150 to them.
That's way too much money to give away for no reason. They had nothing to do with that sale. So absolutely read your contracts before you sign them, and then don't be afraid to say, hey, I'd like to renegotiate this section or the whole thing, or hey, I read your contract and I really don't agree with most of it, so unfortunately I'm going to drop out of this show. Because that's a crappy contract. If they did not facilitate the sale in any way, why would they be entitled to any money whatsoever?
Right. They didn't take the person's name. I didn't escort them to the cash register. It
Nothing.
was all the transaction, all the dealing was my dealing.
Exactly. So there's really
It
no
was me.
reason that they would be entitled to that money. So don't be afraid to just say no to people. You know, it's,
Yeah.
you're a business, but you're also a person. They're a business, they're also people. If people cannot come to terms, then you have no business transaction.
Yeah.
So, and no business relationship. Um, yeah, contracts are great because they protect everybody, but whoever writes the contract is the person who's really protecting only themselves. So you have to be
Yeah.
on the defensive when reading and signing contracts that aren't written by you.
Hmm.
um, and you can literally just say, hey, I'm down with most of this, but this one section here I do not agree to, so I'm countering this contract with a different negotiation for that particular point. And
Hmm.
like I said, they can either agree to the new terms or not. So, um, so yeah, read your contracts very carefully, and if you're not comfortable with it, don't sign it. You can just say, "Hey,
Okay.
I'm very sorry, but I'm not comfortable with this."
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
they might very easily just say, "Oh, okay, we still want you in the show, so rewrite the terms and we'll sign off on it." Okay, great. Now everybody's agreeable. Or like I said, they might just be like, "No," and that's fine too, because again, we choose who we work with and who we work for and who works for us.
Hmm.
We are not trying to build a company or a career that we are not happy with or comfortable with. So
Yeah.
it breaks down to even just the nitty gritty stuff. Why on earth would you pay somebody 20, 30% on a piece that they literally had nothing to do with? Yeah. So lesson learned, live and learn on that one. Um,
Yeah.
but
I I got another question. So with the galleries, let's say that they have a 60-40, like you get 60%, they get 40%.
mhm.
Do you tend to mark up your prices based off of that 40% cut that they get from the gallery? Like say you have something listed online for $300 or so or whatever, and then but that same piece is shown in the gallery. Do you add like a 40% markup to that because it's in the gallery because of your deal, or do you just keep it the same at $300?
So unfortunately, a lot of galleries will put in their contract that you can't undercut them on your website.
Okay.
So if a piece is listed for $500 on your website and then you
Mm-hmm.
want to show it in their gallery, they will probably make you price it at $500. Now, because they don't want everybody just circumventing the gallery and going to your website because they know they can get it cheaper directly.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you kind of have to keep in mind is if you had to show something at a 40% markup, then maybe it should just be more money on your website as well. So, keep that in mind. Or maybe you have certain pieces of work that you have lots of margin in. They were cheap to make, they were quick to make, something like that. And you can easily show them in a gallery and not feel bad about losing 40% of your money. Where you have other works that you don't have a good profit margin on, they took a long time to make, they were, heavy material costs, heavy shipping costs, that kind of stuff. Maybe those go on your website and you don't ever really show them in a gallery unless the gallery is taking 0 to 10% commission or something like that. So that's where it's important to know your particular profit margin for each piece. So if you don't have 40% to give away from that piece, don't put it in the show.
Okay.
Because a lot of galleries will be very upset with you if you try to undercut the price and have people go to the website instead of through the gallery. So
Okay.
that's part of us being responsible for the relationships that we build, because as much as we want the gallery to work for us, we have to respect their need to make money as well. So
Yeah.
it's a symbiotic relationship, and we have to be nice to them and they have to be nice to us. So that's fine. You can avoid that issue by not showing pieces that don't have good profit margin.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that answer that question for you?
Yeah.
Cool. I made my smoothie
Write some notes.
too chunky today. There was too much ice, and now my smoothie needs a spoon.
Okay. Yeah, I used to do the smoothie thing. My favorite was the strawberry, bananas, and raspberries and stuff.
Ooh, nice. I'm stuck with chocolate protein powder right now, and it's okay, but I would rather have strawberry. Let's see what else is going on in this lesson. So yeah, tear down. It's usually pretty straightforward, but just kind of ask them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of galleries will do it for you, and then you just come pick up your stuff. But depending on what kind of a show it was, they might expect you to be there and, you know, help with cleanup and tear down and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm. The paperwork and getting paid, it is important to get receipts and that show your breakdown, because
Mm-hmm.
that helps you, you know, over the long run, again, figure out, you know, are you actually making money at this gallery, or are you just sort of giving it all away? If you start showing at a gallery often, you're going to want to maybe start negotiating your commission split and saying, hey, I've been showing with you, you know, this is my 5th show with you guys. You guys have been taking 40% from me for all 5 of these shows. How about for the next 5 shows, you only take 30% from me? And, you know, they might tell you to frick off, or they might be like, hey, you know what, you're right. Like, we sell a lot of work, like we make money off of you, and you consistently sell work out of our gallery. So yeah, we could talk about changing your commission split. And like I said, they might be happy to do that, or they might just say no. And you can, you know, make decisions from there about whether or not you need to find different galleries to work with that have lower commission splits, or whatever it is. But get receipts from them that show exactly, you know, what they made, what you made, did they charge sales tax, you know, things like that, so that you know you're covered when it comes down to your sales tax responsibilities, which really through a gallery you wouldn't have too much of that, but you just like to know that they're on the up and up. Receipts are a good way to know if they're on the up and up.
Okay.
So this right here.
Because I gotta yeah, because that just reminded me. I have to go tomorrow. I'm going to this little shop. It's like a tea and spa shop. It's a really nice place in Virginia Beach, and like right before, maybe 2 weeks before the whole coronavirus ordeal,
Mm-hmm.
I had given them some of my tile pieces to sell, like maybe 9 to sell, and I finally got a chance to go back there. They were finally open, and I went down there on, I think, Monday to kind of get back with and retouch with some people there, and ask about, did they, I know you guys been, and I was talking to them, I know you guys been shut down. But before then, did you sell any of my tile pieces? They said we're not sure, maybe two. So I'm going back down there tomorrow, and because I've tracked it like maybe I've only submitted like 9 tile pieces,
Uh-huh.
and they're not sets. They're just different tile
Okay.
pieces, individual
Single.
pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, and this one here, it's totally 100% to me.
Nice.
Not
Good.
no. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow is because the lady that I talked to, she said I probably sold maybe a couple, so I'm not really worried about. I mean, I guess I have to see their receipt or their sales book to ensure to. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I would just say, hey, can I get a receipt for that? Can I get a copy of the receipt for that?
Yeah,
And hopefully they can provide it. If not, I would say, hey, moving forward, I really would appreciate a receipt when you sell
yeah,
something.
yeah. Because I'm not. Yeah, because yeah. I mean, because I'm really, to be honest with you, I'm gonna go back down there because I'm gonna submit some. I'm gonna submit. I really want to change some of the stuff out and put in the other tile pieces in.
Yeah, and it's a good
Uh,
excuse to kind of go down there and show your face, and be like, hey, I didn't just forget that I dropped off a bunch of my artwork to you. Like, I am here. You do need to pay me. You can't just steal my money and steal my tiles, because I've had issues with this over the years. I've literally had artwork in galleries get broken. I've had work get stolen.
yeah, that's
um, yeah, so it does happen. There's kind of a lot that goes on that we would like to pretend wouldn't go on, but
mhm.
yeah, it stuff like that does happen. So it's important to operate with an inventory list. So when you do drop
Yeah,
stuff off, you should literally have an inventory list, and you should make them sign it like, hey, on this date, I dropped off X, Y, and Z, and I picked up A, B, and C.
okay,
Um, and they can, sign it or initial it, date it, that kind of thing. So that way you know exactly what is there. And if the next time you come back, they cannot produce those pieces, then obviously they were either stolen or sold or broken or something along those lines, in which case they obviously owe you money or an explanation or whatever you decide on.
okay.
So, um,
I guess I'll have to get on that list and start getting that together.
it doesn't have to be anything fancy, it could just be a quick Word document. Um, and they can
Mhm.
just, sign it at the bottom, date it, that kind
So
of
it's
thing.
just the name of the tile sets and then the price of the tile set.
Name, price, the name of the shop that they're in, so that very obviously, it's like, hey, I gave you specifically
Name of the shop.
these specific pieces on this specific day, um,
They dropped off.
yeah.
And okay.
So again, just to cover your butt. um, yeah, so hopefully you never have any issues like that, but it does come up. It really does come up, and it's part of creating a responsibility and accountability between the artist and the space that the art is being held and shown. And you'd be surprised how many people have a really poor, a disregard for the fact that, you took the time to make these things, and they do owe you money if something goes wrong, and that could be part of your initial contract for dropping items off. Say, hey, I'd like to show these pieces here, but I need you to sign here and say that if something happens, if something gets broken or stolen, that you are going to pay me for my work.
Okay.
Because obviously if those works were safe in your house, you'd still have them, or you'd have a way to make money off of them, but now you don't. They're gone.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that could be part of your initial drop off paperwork, saying, hey, I'd love to build this relationship with you, but we need to talk about what's going to happen if something gets broken or stolen. So
Hmm.
um, so yeah, it's unfortunately the unsexy part of our job, but that's what happens. So important stuff there. And plus, if you are operating with insurance, and for some reason the gallery won't pay you, you could potentially file an insurance claim to get that money back. But that is kind of a last resort. As you know, with your auto insurance or your home insurance, you don't want to be making claims left and right because they're gonna boost your premium and every other thing. So
well, well, my business insurance, they're gonna boost my premium anyway um because I have a, for some reason I have a discount with them because I have to, well, the way this works for my business insurance is that I have to have like a security alarm in order to get like this special discount, and I don't have that security alarm. It's so I have no control over getting it. So I'm probably going to end up boosting, my rates are going to go up. So, but I'm fine. I know a guy that I'm networking with that that works for Farmers Insurance. I'm gonna get in contact with him and see if I get insurance through him.
Yeah, shop around for insurance for sure, because stuff changes all the time and somebody might have a better rate. It's nice when you can get in with somebody who you know is going to take care of you, but sometimes you pay more for better customer service. So it's do you want better price or do you want better customer service when it comes to your insurance? It depends on where you are in your business. I tend to pay a little bit more for better customer service, but still hopefully get like a reasonable rate, not a super high end rate, because you hit a point where it's like this service is no better. Now you're just overcharging. So, I've been with the same insurance company for a while, but every couple of years or so, it's a good idea to just get some new quotes, and see if somebody's going to get you a better deal for either the same policy or even a better policy. It's kind of interesting. Sometimes you can end up getting a better policy for a cheaper rate. You're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, because I think all I need, well, I don't know how, as far as coverage, I guess I need coverage for the travel of or sending of my products to all these galleries, traveling with the products in my car going to and fro, places where I'm showing my work. If I'm showing my work inside of a different house or whatever, I need insurance for that. I need insurance for like my little area that I'm doing my work. We just had a tornado hit, or not a tornado, but I guess a hurricane.
Yeah. Did you guys do okay?
Yeah, we were okay. It was just a wind. One of the like, it's like a plastic little daylight sunlight deal on the top of our roof came off, and that's where I do most of my work. And so I had to get it replaced, but it wasn't no money out of my pocket. It was fine.
Okay.
But it wasn't anything.
No crazy flooding or anything like that.
No, I mean, I took all of the stuff that, the main pieces that were in there, client work and all the other stuff out, prior to the storm hitting. So
nice. Okay.
So yeah.
So yes, definitely important to insure your work. So the best part to me about doing shows and whatnot is getting the feedback. So for your follow-up, in your follow-up stage, absolutely we need to be asking for feedback from everybody. So it's really nice to be able to talk to people at the shows, even if they don't buy something. If you learned their name and somehow got their contact information, I would definitely ask them for a review. They could be reviewing your work. They could be reviewing the show. They could be reviewing even just you as a person, you know, like, hey, I had this really great conversation with Carlos, and I wasn't ready to buy anything, but I'm totally going to buy in the future. Thanks for putting on a great show, Carlos. 5 stars, you know, something along those lines. So you can absolutely ask for reviews that are, you know, regarding anything at all, anything. Mm-hmm. Don't blindly ask for reviews though from, you know, if somebody signed in on your sign-in sheet and it just has like a name and an email, but you didn't talk to that person in person, you know, you didn't actually spend any time with them, probably don't send them a review. It's either going to get ignored or it'll come off as sort of
disingenuous in a way.
Exactly. And that's
like bland, like bland, and like just like you're just a robot because you're just sending it to everybody.
Exactly. So we only want to ask for reviews of people that we spent time with. It could be short, you know, so long as it was a good, genuine conversation, you know, and they might be kind of even happy to hear from you again, because especially in your ask, you're going to say something along the lines of, it was so great to meet you the other day. I really enjoyed our conversation, however short it may have been. I really hope to see you again soon, whether that be at one of my shows or through a networking opportunity. I would love if you could please take the time to review me or my artwork or my show. And honestly, if you don't want to, I totally understand. Thank you for your time. So in that regard, that should work out pretty well for you. Just be genuine in the ask, you know, just say, hey, you know, this is how I help. This really helps me build my business. But if you're not into it, okay, thanks anyway, you know, no big deal. Tracking your results. So again, we need to know whether or not the show was actually monetarily successful. Obviously, there's other gauges like, did you make 100 new contacts? That's a successful show. You know,
that's even if you successful show.
Right. Even if you sold nothing and you didn't, at least, you know, hopefully you didn't have to like pay a bunch of money to be in the show or something like that. If you can justify the show, then it was good. It was successful. So obviously we need to know how many guests were there. We need to know, you know, did we make any sales? How many sales did we make? What was our overall total profit of the show? Because again, if you're giving away 30, 40, 50%, you know, did you only end up making $100 off the show, but you had to pay $50 to be in the show? So now you only made $50 and you spent a lot of time and that kind of thing. So it's very important to try to keep track of all of that and to figure out if the show was worth it. Would you do the show again? You know, a lot of these shows are annual or maybe quarterly, that kind of thing. So is it going to be worth it in the long run?
Well, I think I just did like just a bare minimum as far as the money that I tracked as far as doing the show, my virtual art show, and I guess projected, I guess just outside of my projections as far as like, you know, what I thought I was gonna make compared to just based off of just, okay, whatever I made minus whatever I spent, I profited well over $2,000.
Fantastic, Carlos. Oh my God,
just
that's
from
great.
Before and after.
That's awesome.
But, I mean, a bulk of it came from with Shannon, and then I made another 500. But it wasn't. It was a customer that wanted a piece, but the piece was too small,
Mhm.
So she wanted a bigger piece, so I quoted her on a bigger piece, and I sold it there.
No, but it all came from that show. So we get to
Yes,
categorize that as that
it all
show.
came from that show.
Exactly. So that show was successful. You didn't
Yeah,
lose
and I
money.
spent
You made
and I
money. Yeah.
and I guess total, I'd say I spent like over $300 on it
Okay.
because I know because a bulk of that money spent was on the website and getting that running and stuff.
Hmm.
So
Yep. So again, we always have to be watching our profit margin. How can we accomplish the same thing or better at a cheaper cost without
yeah,
sacrificing quality, without sacrificing the customer experience, and then making our price points so that we are making money. So,
yeah. I'm next time I'm not gonna use that website. I'm gonna because I'll probably do something a little bit different as far as like the auction portion of it.
sure.
Um, you know,
Yeah, you tried it
uh,
out. Like I said, it seemed pretty easy to use as a consumer, like as a customer on my end. Um,
mhm.
but then it was kind of strange. Like, I don't know why there had to be a separate invoice when I had to put in my credit card information in the first place. I was like, just charge me. Like, I already agreed. Just charge me, you know?
Yeah, I don't know because it's weird because it's like because I thought they took care of everything. It should have gone to
Yeah,
I shouldn't have had to send you a PayPal
right.
invoice. It
Exactly.
should have because I had all of my information on my end as far as how it's registered to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So it should have just
So all
charged
that
the customer and dumped you your money into your account, you know?
right, it didn't do that,
Yeah.
and I
So
had it all aligned that way
yeah, so that just
before.
created more back end work for you. You had all this set up and then you still
Right, because
had
then,
back end
right,
follow
and
up.
then I had to wait because like, okay, maybe let me wait a few days
Yeah, to make
to
sure we're
see
not
if it
double charging
registered
people. Yeah,
because I don't want to just send you an invoice out and you get like two invoices and they're like you're
yeah,
confusing. So yeah,
yeah. So,
but
but again, each show, we learn so much from each show. You know,
mhm.
it's not like we only will learn one tiny thing because each show is so different that you get to literally learn years worth of work in one show. And so long as you can take notes, retain the information, and do it better next time, you're on good track to always, always, always be improving and having better shows every time. So, um, and that's hopefully part of what this course is teaching too, is like,
Yeah,
hey, you can very easily and quickly look at a show from the get-go now and say, that's not going to be for me, or this one's going to be great, you
mhm.
know? So, in that regard, I hope all of this information is helpful for the future. So,
Yeah, it is. It's going to be helpful. Yeah, a lot of these things, all these notes I'm taking, it's going to be it's just going to I'm going to take him and it's going to tweak a lot of things and it's going to shape how I get that sales funnel in for me
exactly.
and getting my business running. I've already got the marketing and everything down as far as um, where I'm gonna how I'm gonna use my marketing. It's gonna be mainly I got like a Google ad account,
Hmm.
but I'm not gonna I don't know if I'll probably sparingly use Facebook as a marketing like Facebook ads
Uh-huh.
and Instagram ads as a marketing
Yeah,
push.
I mean,
I'll
do you
just
know how
because
much money you spend on ads?
I'm gonna just I'm gonna just do like Instagram, more heavily on Instagram and hashtags,
Yeah.
and you in doing like because what I'm planning on doing is with Instagram is like one of my digital art prints. I'll post it up and like have like a contest and saying okay whoever gets the most shares off of using my hashtag Seed Burgess Arts or whatever the name of the piece is. And whoever gets the most likes or most shares from that, then they win the prize. I guess they win that free print.
People love contests. They love contests.
So yeah,
it's a great idea. Yes, absolutely. So
that way, my hashtag gets big. It would mean I have more followers, more people going to my site and seeing what they have to offer, and then I get to engage with them through Instagram and Facebook, so that I make sales that way. Because a majority of these sales that I'm making now is through Facebook Messenger, Instagram,
social media all day long.
It's not through. It's. I mean, even though I'm getting a lot more site traffic on my website, to be honest with you, that's a death trap for all artists.
Yeah,
is a website.
Go to the website, they look, but they never click buy because it's a faceless robot. It's a robot interaction, and they don't care. They don't care to buy from a robot. They care to buy from you. So they see your face, they see you talking to them, they hear your voice, and they feel like they want to have a piece of yours on their wall. So that is where it's at. A couple last things on this lesson. Like I mentioned at the bottom here, you need to thank your gallery. Even if it went terribly, honestly, just thank them and say, you know, I'm sorry, you know, if it went great, awesome. Thank you so much. You know, let's do this again very soon. If it didn't go great, you know, thank you for the opportunity. You know, and you might just say this in person, or maybe you want to send them a card or whatever. Depending on what kind of level you're on with the gallery owner, maybe you're strangers, but maybe you're friends. You know, if there was stuff you saw that could have been done better, let them know in a nice way. Just, hey, you know, I felt like maybe parts of this weren't as successful as they could have been. You know, if you care to hear my opinions, I will give them to you. Some people, again, might tell you to frick off. But, you know, there's no reason that somebody shouldn't take your advice, because even though you're not a gallery owner, you are literally the reason they are in business. So they can't do their work without people like me and you.
Right.
So if they're not satisfying the artists, then they're not going to have a thriving business. So
they're not going to have any product.
Exactly. So they need to listen to the people that are showing in their galleries and hopefully take some of it to heart and say, oh, okay, you know, thank you for the feedback, and that kind of thing. Definitely thank your guests via social media or whatever other method you can. Thank them for coming, because obviously, just like the gallery needs us, we need the guests. So big thanks all around for all of that. And then, you know, first things first, I hope you had fun at your show. You know, if you had a great time at your show, like I said, even if not a single sale was made, if you had an awesome time and you got to meet people and talk to people and meet new artists and get new ideas, like, oh wow, look what they did, like it's a similar style to mine, but it's different. Maybe you got to talk some technical stuff. If you had a good time doing your show, then it was successful. And you can make every show successful if you have the best attitude that you can. And yeah, things are not always going to go right. Almost every show has some kind of weird snag. But you just work through it, you know, and stay in good communication with the gallery owner or the curator or whoever's running the show, and just say, hey, we're having this issue, but let's work through it so that we can all get to the finish line and try to make this show as successful for everybody as possible. So it's good stuff. I love shows. I love doing shows. Social media and The internet will never replace in-person shows. We've talked a bit
Right.
about the importance that the gallery still holds, even in a digital age. Um, and for me, it breaks down to the pure energy of having all those like-minded people in one place, and just hopefully you've got a little bit of music and a little bit of wine and cheese, and everybody's just having an awesome time looking at your art and talking about art and looking at other people's art and sharing ideas. So to me, that's what it's all about. That's what being an exhibiting expert really is about, is how can you make a show into something that people really enjoyed going to, because that right there is going to build into bigger and better shows and bigger and better sales. So yep, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I just, I'm just thinking maybe I need to get in touch with some of the event planners that I've met in the past, uh, and see if there's anything going on open or anything in my area that I can kind of jump on and showcase a few pieces of my artwork. So
Yeah. One thing that the Buffalo art scene taught me back in Buffalo was that you can make an art show anywhere, literally. You can hold an art show anywhere. You can hold an art show in somebody's backyard. You can
yeah,
hold an art show in the middle of the street. There's a festival in Buffalo called the Buffalo Infringement Festival, and it's 11 days long, every end of July into August. And the whole premise of the festival is that you make art that pushes the boundaries of what people would think art is.
mm-hmm.
And for 11 days straight, artists and musicians and theater people and all different sorts of creatives, they take over this whole section of the city. And
Yeah,
there's art in every coffee shop, there's art in every bar, there's literal performances in the middle of the road. There's new murals going up on buildings, all during this one infringement festival. And the art gets really weird because it's infringing. We're infringing on the idea of the norm of art.
yeah,
And so, and
I like
that's
that.
not the only type of festival in Buffalo. We would take over old abandoned grain silos and we'd put on weekend long shows. You can hold an art show anywhere, so long as you
Yeah,
have enough momentum and enough energy and enough drive, you can make anything happen.
yeah,
So
because I'm really thinking about, because so got some numbers down for some like abandoned like storefronts or storefronts that don't that I guess need
yeah, empty.
businesses to come in.
Mhm.
I'm really gonna call someone and say, hey, can I just have your space for like a day where I'm just having my artwork displayed and I'm actually doing a live painting,
There you go. Yeah.
you know?
Double check on the insurance and stuff for that, because they're going to want to know who's responsible if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah,
And the other thing too, even if they won't let you do like a live show, you can still put paintings in the window and you don't
yeah,
have to be there, so long as you have your contact information and there's paintings in the window on easels or whatever. You're still showing your work to anybody on that street.
yeah,
So don't be discouraged if they don't want to let you in for a live setting, but they might
mhm,
still be willing to have you just set up a couple paintings in the window. Um,
yeah,
anything is better than nothing. Anything is
Right.
better than nothing. So
Yeah, because I'm gonna do because I think that'd be a good idea as far as getting some of these paintings that I got stacked in my house. Just because
just put them somewhere.
it's
Exactly.
cluttered right now with all of my
Right.
work.
They're just laying there. They're not making any money. No one's seeing them.
Hmm.
Figure out where to put them that might
Yeah.
actually gain some traffic, So,
Hmm.
yep. Anywhere you can show your art is better than not showing your art.
Right.
And that is what exhibiting is about. The more people can see your work, even if you don't get to have that face-to-face exchange, the more you'll have that name recognition and be able to leverage that in the future. So
Yeah.
this is why we exhibit.
Okay. Cool.
Well, I hope you enjoyed 6 weeks to becoming an exhibiting expert. This is the
I
first time
did.
running this course, but I think it's got a lot of good information jam-packed into it. I hope you agree. I had fun
Yeah.
doing it with you.
It has. It's got a lot of information that I need. I know I needed it because as far as the whole renegotiating before the show, and that could have saved me some money. Just the thinking. Well, I thank the gallery and everything, or the person that was running it. Um, uh, but as far as the reviews, I didn't. I guess I didn't ask for a review after my virtual art show. I just kind of, I just got people. People just actually sent reviews.
Yeah,
This
awesome.
Monday morning, I woke up and this lady, she's a banker. She's like my banker for my business account, and she's seen some of my work and she just loves my artwork. She's an art enthusiast as well, and she sent me like this beautiful testimony about how I'm an inspiration to everyone, and I put that in my website. I now have like a testimonial now.
Yes,
I got like several people like really complimenting all the things that I've done just this year alone.
exactly. It's
And
been a very successful year for you. I think
yeah,
that you've made really big leaps and bounds in your business and, grown a lot
yeah, I have.
and um, put some more value to your work in your own head, in your
Mhm.
own heart. And people are noticing. People are noticing the changes that you're making to better yourself in your career. And all that does is boost the value of your work as
Yeah,
an artist. So,
yeah, because I've got some, because she also, the same letter that I was saying about the banker, she also mentioned to me that I should consider doing like a virtual art co-op for like kids or whatever teaching art. And at first I started to cringe because it's like I'm kind of still I don't want to consider myself a master, but I guess I'm still learning myself. But I can teach them some basic stuff, but then
you're
it's like I
all
don't
you
know.
need
But
is
then
the
it's like, right. So I was like, but I didn't want to cut down the opportunity. So I was like, yeah, you can, yeah, send me some contact people, that are interested. And she was like, yeah, but before I do that, I need you to get a curriculum set up. I was like, oh God, how do I do
sounds like a
that?
lot of work. Sounds like a lot of
Yeah.
work and possibly not a lot of money. Sounds
Well,
like charity
I
work,
saw,
but that's
so
okay.
well, so I started thinking, well, because the only experience I have as far as teaching is like, I guess when I was in the army, when I used to give like on the spot training to soldiers, like, okay, here's how you do a 10 to 5 tactical rush, and how to set up your hasty fighting position. You know, I
So
mean that type of thing.
I'm gonna have to cut this off. I've got to get to another meeting, but I'm really, really
Yeah.
happy that all of this has helped you along the way. And let me know if you need anything else. Please do. I dropped some links in the comments in Kajabi if you want to leave a review about this course or about me as your coach or any of that. So
Yes, I'll leave you a review.
I
You
thank
this coach, I'll
you.
leave the review. And I also sent you the tracking number to your package, so it's on its way.
Yay, thank you. Exciting. All right, awesome. I will talk to you soon, bud.
All right, you take care.
See ya.